Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another League of Legends Shoutcast. Today's match coming to us once again from the North American SoloQ rank ladder in the high ELO bracket. We're going to have Teemo and Gnar in the top lane, Xin Zhao and Nocturne in the jungle, Heimerdinger and Talon in mid, Lulu and Lucian on AD carry, and Poppy and Thresh rounding out these teams on support. One kill already going over to the red side. Lucian going to be able to pick that up onto Poppy with the help of his support. Going into the action here at the 4-minute mark. One thing I notice about this game, and the reason I chose this game to spectate, chose this game to cast, is because of the fact that blue team's team composition is an absolute mess by meta standards. They've got Teemo, they've got Heimerdinger, they got Poppy, they got Xin, and they got Lulu on AD carry. It's absolutely crazy. This Gnar managing to go down to Teemo in the top side. Teemo finding that damage onto him nice and early. Heimerdinger continuing to abuse Talon in the mid lane in the meantime. This game going to be 1-1 now. All tied up as Teemo, the lane bully himself, managing to zone away Gnar and prove he is the better Yordle. The difficulty with Teemo, though, is can he stay relevant as the game scales? Teemo is a true terror in SoloQ. He's so hard to gank. The mushrooms are obnoxious. He blinds you. He's a lane bully with his auto attack poke with the poison. But a lot of times the reason he's not more popular is the fact that as the game goes on, his usefulness falls and falls and falls unless the person really knows how to play him. So we're going to see if Teemo here knows how to scale into the late game and abuse that advantage that he's able to find early. Talon trying to find some damage early onto the Donger, but it's not going to be enough. The Ignite is there, the Xin Zhao's there, and that's a pickup kill for Heimerdinger, excuse me, not Hecarim. We're not talking about that meta stuff this game. This is absolute SoloQ wonder. And Heimerdinger going to secure that kill for himself. Talon not struggling too far behind the Donger in that CS department. Normally, Heimerdinger just zones away his opponents completely from the creep wave. Makes it very, very hard for them to get close, especially as a pure melee like Talon. But Talon doing a good job of staying caught up, but he's going to find it increasingly difficult to jump onto Heimerdinger and make his damage happen, especially if Heimerdinger goes for that early Zhonya's Hourglass rush. Heimerdinger known for baiting people into himself when he's got that ultimate ready, dropping that huge turret and just making the damage turn around on them. Poppy now taking a lot of damage back from Thresh and Lucian as Lulu finds herself being caught up in a death sentence. Lucian dashing forward now, and the red team on full-on offensive. They're trying to find the damage onto this blue side AD carry, but Poppy returning a lot of damage on Lucian in return. He's going to be the one who goes down in this trade ultimately as blue team turns this around. The power of Poppy, the power of a team not knowing what in the hell she does. That is the power of what this champion can do as blue team looks to make a double out of this. Poppy dropping very low, but still keeping herself alive. Wonderfully done as blue team picks up a double kill for themselves in the bot lane. This is the power of non-meta picks. No one knows how to deal with them because no one knows what they do. Nocturne trying to find the damage onto Lulu, but it's not quite going to be enough until that final red buff tick does wear her down. The second kill of the game going over for the red side to this jungler as he manages to clean up a little bit of the mess that his bot lane made by going in on the Poppy. Talon now skilling out completely onto Heimerdinger. He's got all the damage there, but the Donger drops the big turret, trying to find the damage. But now that he's out of the safety of its range, he's caught between a rock and a hard place. He's behind enemy lines. Talon's closing in. Nocturne's looking to cut off the escapes. Talon going to see what he can do here. The Rake will connect. Heimerdinger just running for his life, trying to get away from this one, trying to throw the grenade. It's not going to be enough, and Talon will be able to secure this kill. 4-3 now the score. Blue team up 700 gold, but red team has to be aware of what they're dealing with. Again, the off-meta picks, the power of the Lulu on AD carry and the Poppy on support. Poppy's such a trolly champion. She has the ability to survive stuff that she should have no business surviving whatsoever. That passive negating so much damage, making her so deceptively tanky that the blue side is able to make these plays work. She's also got the most outrageous summoner spell combination. She's got Barrier and Exhaust, making her incredibly hard to 1v1, opting away from Flash. She doesn't need that. She doesn't need that positioning. She's Poppy. Once you go in, you're going in. And she wants to make sure that she can go in with the best of them. Blue team even holding out in terms of the CS down here. Poppy collecting more CS than Thresh from the Relic Shield, while Lulu only lags behind Lucian a couple. Teemo continuing to go very aggressive on Gnar. He's got the Ignite, he's got the damage, but the Mega Gnar is there, throwing him into the wall, but Gnar is ultimately going to drop to Teemo once again. 2-0 on the little Yordle, 51 CS to 26, as Gnar is being given a run for his money. Teemo showing up here big in the top lane. Nocturne going to complete that Devour as his jungle item. Wants to have the power to be the carry this game. Scaling as he finds those stacks, finds that Sated Devour. Xin Zhao rotating around bottom now. Thresh with the death sentence, trying to keep his AD carry alive. Poppy barely going to miss shoving him into the wall, and that will manage to keep him alive for now. Poppy could have found that slam, could have found that stun into the wall onto Lucian. He surely would have died. Xin Zhao would have been in range. He even had the flash if he didn't. The blue side just barely missing out on a kill here. Game is still only 1,000 gold apart. Both these teams still managing to keep themselves going strong. Blue team, of course, off to that advantage nice and early here. But they also have to look at the fact that as the game goes on, the red team does have a more meta comp. Meta is meta for a reason, because it's usually considered the most effective. So we'll see if blue team can manage to make these off-meta picks work. Nocturne now gating into the bot side. He's got the paranoia. He's got a lot of damage out onto Lulu, but the exhaust from Poppy going to come down and scare the spooky ghost away. Lucian trying to go very deep for this kill, but Xin Zhao's going to be able to rotate over, and the blue team are going to be the ones who take the kill here in the bot side today. Nocturne now rotating back around into his own jungle as Zen flashing forward. He's got the chilling spike. He's got the damage. He's got the ult. He's got the kill. And Nocturne going to go down to the power of Zen here in the river. 7-3 now the score. Blue team's favor. 14.7 to 12.9 thousand gold. 9.5 minutes in. Gnar still continuing to struggle against this Teemo. 34 to 63 CS. Teemo just abusing him early on. Gnar trying to build defensively, having to rush that early MR just to deal with him. Teemo zoning him away, no respect whatsoever. This is Teemo's lane, and Gnar's just living in it. Heimerdinger continuing to just post these turrets up here in the mid lane, doing what he can to keep Talon zoned away, try to prevent Talon from ascending to that plateau of insta-give that Talon wants to find as the game goes on. Taking a look at the vision game here, we can see red team posting up a couple of defensive wards here on their own side of the map. They've got the pink wards up on the sides of the side lanes, wanting to be very well aware if those Xin Zhao ganks should come from somewhere unusual. Blue team, no vision really to speak of except for the blue side having these bot lane wards up and ready. They've got that pink ward there in the brush that Thresh is just going to ever so conveniently walk right past. Thresh going to grab a ward up on Dragon. We are closing in on the 11-minute mark. And as this game goes further and further, we're going to see teams pay more and more attention to that Dragon area, see if they can make a play happen. Speaking of plays happen, Xin Zhao rotating over, finding the kill onto Talon as he and the Donger do a lovely dance around the lane, trying to figure out who's going to get who after an initial trade. Teemo's now at the point where he's capable of setting up so many defensive mushrooms around the top side. It's going to be very hard for the red team to be able to come up and give Gnar any help. When Teemo knows how to position these mushrooms correctly, it makes it so anyone who tries to rotate over, rotates up, they hit a mushroom, they're slowed, they're poisoned, they lose a quarter of their health, and they just have to walk away because Teemo's now alerted to their presence. He gets to walk away for free. It gives the lane that person rotated from free pressure because that person's no longer there, and Teemo suffers nothing because of it. He simply has to put another mushroom down there once they go away. Makes it very, very hard to deal with him, and Gnar just cannot stop the bleeding of the CS here in the top side. Teemo now over doubling his CS, 45 difference here in the top lane. Xin Zhao lagging very far behind Nocturne in the CS department, 37 to 64, but he's 3-0-1. So he's definitely contributing to his team enough to make up for that. Heimerdinger and Talon both having very similar counts here in the mid lane, while Lulu goes up almost 15 over Lucian as this meta bot lane is struggling versus the unorthodox picks coming out from the blue side. Having Lulu on the AD carry actually makes this lane very interesting in terms of how it's going to scale and also how it functions in the lane. Poppy is going to be a true nightmare buff with all those Lulu spells as the game goes on. Poppy going to pop that ultimate onto Thresh, wants to make sure that Lucian can't try to kill her as she finds the damage, and it's going to be Xin who takes the kill for that one. Fourth one of the game onto him. 9-3 now this blue side jungler as the red team secures the dragon as a consolation prize. Talon finding some damage onto Zen, but taking a lot in return. He wasn't aware of the fact that that pink ward was right there in the brush. The one that Thresh walked right past earlier proves enough to grab Zen a kill and make it so that the red team mid laner is even further behind now. 1-3 on him as Heimerdinger sits on his turret and just pours the damage in. Gnar trying to rotate over and stop this. He can't really do anything in top lane, so he's trying to see what he can make happen elsewhere as blue team shoves a massive creep wave into the red team tower on the bot lane. And there's nothing that Lucian can do about it. He's trying to stay in experience range, but just doing that is dangerous. If he gets too close to this Poppy, if he gets slammed into a wall, he's almost certainly dead. Thresh finally showing back up, getting his AD carry out of that danger zone, finding the death sentence onto Lulu. The Ignite is there. Piercing Light is going to miss as Lulu flashes away from it, but the blue team has to be very aware of what's happening now. They're both super low on mana as well. If they can manage to turn this one, it'll be absolutely godly because of how few resources they're working with. Red team really starting to fall behind majorly in terms of gold now. 10-3, the kill score. Still no towers to speak of. They do have a dragon, but they're down 4,000 gold here at the 13-minute mark. That is a pretty substantial lead. And especially across the different lanes, we can see Teemo has such an advantage over Gnar. There's nothing Gnar can do in this 1v1 scenario. And as we said earlier, if the red team tries to rotate people up to help him, the mushrooms are positioned in a way that they're not going to be able to find that help very reliably. So Gnar is being just completely removed as a factor from this game. Teemo just dealing so much damage to him that there's very little he can do. There's very little his team can do. He can't rotate around. He's not going to be a threat. He's got that teleport, but what's he going to do when he teleports into the middle of a team? All he's got is a Doran's Blade and a Specter's Cowl. His presence in this game is being incredibly reduced by Teemo, who's doing a wonderful job of playing this lane bully champion to his maximum effectiveness and just controlling his opponent from start to finish. Gnar about to go Mega Form, so if Teemo goes too deep for this, Gnar might be in a little bit of trouble, but Gnar flashing away from his turret instead of under it, as Teemo manages to find the kill before he goes into that prehistoric raid. Another kill for the little Poison Yordle. 118 CS to 52 now. Teemo is just controlling this top side of the map. Red team not even trying to divert any resources to help Gnar. They're just filing that away as a lost cause, and there's nothing they can do. Thresh potentially may have DC'd or typing or something, because Heimerdinger and Xin are going to pick up a free kill onto him. Their 12th one of the game. 12-3 now the score. 26.6 to 19.0 thousand gold as blue team collects all 3 outer turrets. Jumping that gold lead up even further. Xin Zhao rotating around behind. Gonna manage to knock Lucian backwards. The flash coming out, but it's not going to be enough. The Poppy Slam into the Xin knock up, into that Lulu ultimate. Gonna be enough to bring him down as well. 1-3 on Lucian, 1-3 on Talon, 0-3 on Thresh, and 0-3 on Gnar. Everybody's having a bad day here on the red side, except for maybe Nocturne, who's now finding a lot of aggressive potential onto Teemo. He will bring him down, but he'll pay for it with his own life. 1-for-1 here in the top side as red team finally puts another kill up on the board. Blue team just continuing to pour this aggro on in the bot side. Thresh popping the box, anticipating the Poppy aggression, but Poppy seeing that, just going to back off, go for the turret. Thresh does almost no damage whatsoever to her. She's not afraid about taking these auto attacks, just pushing the turret down, securing that extra map control. Lucian going to be able to show up here and finally make this aggression go away, but only for the time being. Blue team going to be able to back up now. Poppy is going to have the gold to complete that Trinity Force, and once she has it, she is going to be a huge threat that no one on this red side, except for maybe Nocturne, is going to be able to deal with in a 1v1 scenario. Teemo now with 4-1, 128 CS, tied with Heimerdinger for the highest in the game. He's got the Morello Nomicon for the cooldown, so he can generate those mushrooms even faster. Xin Zhao rotating top now, trying to find some more damage onto Gnar. He's already behind. Why not put him completely in the dumpster, completely out of the game? And that's exactly what Xin Zhao's wanting to do here. He dropped the Chilling Smite. He's got the 3 Talon Strike, another audacious charge. Likely going to be able to end him, but the rotation from Talon just in time to keep his ally alive and finally turn the aggression over against the blue side and make them pay for these aggressive plays that they've been going after time and time again. Heimerdinger and Poppy now pushing up the mid lane. Nocturne doing what he can to defend this, but the Donger damage is there. He's got the Ignite. He's got the auto attacks. He's got the kill. Heimerdinger gonna take Nocturne out easy here in the mid lane. Poppy going in very hard on Lucian. Talon's here as well. Poppy going to be able to pop that ultimate onto Lucian. Wants to be able to grab this kill for herself, and she will grab it. Immune to the Talon damage. Why that's active. Heimerdinger popping the zone. He's trying to keep himself alive, but it's not going to work. Talon grabs 1 kill for himself, but the barrier from Poppy going to keep her alive long enough to pick the kill up onto him, and that's a double for the blue team supporter, AD carrier, whatever she is, as Gnar looks to show up and potentially grab the kill, but he's not going to be able to. Poppy grabbing the blue buff means that she's going to be able to have the speed and the mana to walk away here. Teemo now rotating down. He's got the damage on the Gnar. The Lulu Wild Growth is there, keeping her ally alive, and Poppy baits Gnar out, giving him his 4th death of the game. You can tell Gnar is struggling with this Teemo just by his itemization. He's got a Specter's Cowl and a Hex Drinker. He's purely defensively building just to deal with the magic damage coming out of Teemo. It'll help with Heimerdinger as well. It's actually very, very effective against the entirety of this composition coming out of the blue side, sans Xin Zhao. Teemo's magic damage, Heimerdinger's magic damage. Lulu, despite her AD carry build, still has a lot of magic damage built into her kit, as does Poppy. So the build not completely terrible, but it just shows the kind of situation that this red team is in. They can't build aggressively. They can't build offensively. They're having to play off their back foot the entire time, and they're spending most of their time in this game under their turrets, just trying desperately to defend. As the blue team continues to push their advantage, continues to take over this map, blue team now very comfortable past the river. They're not worried about being overextended because they know they can turn these fights. They know how far ahead they are here. 9,000 gold. But they're not really worried about this aggression coming out from the red side as Talon and Nocturne go very deep. The box is dropped by Thresh and Teemo going very low. He and Nocturne going to be the first casualties of this fight. Gnar trying to find the damage onto Lulu, but it's not going to be there. The Heimerdinger turret zoning away the rest of the red side. One more hit, one more wrench is going to be able to bring Thresh down, but Poppy going to take that one for herself. She might look to go onto Lucian, but it's not going to be enough. She does not have the ultimate available quite yet to be able to dive under that turret as the red team has to walk away, losing 3 for the price of 1. They do bring down Teemo the Terror, but they pay for it with Gnar, Nocturne, and Thresh all following him into the abyss. Blue team now in a wonderful position to be able to push down their 4th turret of the game, break this second ring of towers on the red side, and secure even more map control, even more pressure for themselves. Not even 20 minutes into the game, and the blue side is up over 10,000 gold. Dragon is live for the 2nd time. Baron will be live here in 30 seconds. Gnar and Talon now in a position to possibly respond to this, possibly grab some damage onto the Donger. The heal coming out from Lucian. They're trying to keep themselves fast enough to grab this kill. Another Rake's going to be there. The piercing light coming out onto Poppy, but she's going to slam him into the wall in return. She's got the ultimate available. She's just going to use it defensively to walk away from this one. Xin Zhao picking up the Dragon in the backdrop. It's going to bring that up to 1-1 in the Dragon counts. Finally even now for both sides. The one aspect of the game that red team had an advantage in is no longer an advantage, as Gnar extends very far and might be punished for his aggro, trying to gnar Xin Zhao into the ruins of that tower, but he's just going to be ultimately stopped and brought down. The Lantern from Thresh not going to be able to show up in time. Red team still having to play defensively. They still don't have the tools they need. They still aren't able to find the opportunity to turn this one around. They're going to need some sort of pick. They've got the Nocturne, they've got the Talon. They have the ability to make picks if the blue side doesn't have the coordination, if they don't have the grouping to make it work. But that's not going to be the story of this game as the surrender comes out here at the 20-30 mark. 23-7 the score. 38.2 thousand to 27.2 thousand gold. A commanding win coming out from this crazy off-meta comp on the blue team. Never be afraid to challenge the meta. Never be afraid to make those off-meta picks and really make your opponents think. Because as we saw, sometimes they just don't know how to handle it. GG, well played to everybody involved. Once again, you guys, thank you for watching this video. My name is Captain Flowers. I am an aspiring shoutcaster. If you enjoyed this, if you'd like to see more like it, please feel free to leave me a message in the comments section below. Let me know what you think, and feel free to check out the other videos on the channel as well, and I hope you'll like those too. I'll catch you guys next time.